Welcome in, everyone. I'm Squishable Moon, your shooting star with a ranch addiction and fewer brain cells than the common garden snail. And welcome back to my channel. And howdy doody, it feels like I haven't made a video in so very long. I have been dealing with creative burnout and art block so bad the last couple of months, I haven't been able to do basically anything, let alone take care of my YouTube channel and feed my starving children. If you're an artist or somebody who makes content, you're probably already aware of what art block and art burnout is. It basically means it's a time when you can't make anything creativity-wise, you have lack of motivation, you basically cannot force yourself to make content even if you wanted to, whether that be art, music, or anything along those lines. It feels like pulling knives out of your skin just to put your pen to paper. And I'm just like any other artist on the internet, suffering from art block now and again. Now I go through slumps of not being able to draw anything for long periods of time, no matter what I do. No matter what video, blog, article I seem to read, it really just comes down to like 5 simple things that you have to try in order to get your motivation back. And most of the time, they don't really work for me, or at least it takes a very long time of doing said things in order to get the art block to go away. I want to note that it's completely normal to experience burnout with creativity and get art block. It's something that everyone who is creative will come through and get at some point in their art journey, and it's nothing to be ashamed of or worried about. Art block can last for a couple days, couple hours, months, years. It just depends on the person. So don't be worried if you get art block. Here are some of the things that I do to try and get out of art block, whether they work or not, to be debated. To be honestly debated. One of the ways you can try to get out of burnout or get rid of art block is obviously by taking a break. I, as my own boss, as an artist, writing my own book, making my own content, running a YouTube channel, I don't have a strict schedule unlike some of my more well-off friends. When I have to make content, I often tend to overwork myself, stretch myself a little thin when I make content. I definitely don't have the most healthy way of making content, but content makes me happy, and making it makes me happy. Therefore, I'm more inclined to make it throughout the whole entire day instead of taking small breaks in between. That's just how I focus. I tend to focus on one thing for long periods of time without taking a break, no break in sight, not even to pee. However, working on one thing at a time without taking breaks isn't exactly the healthiest or best way to go. Obviously, taking breaks is good for your mental health and definitely can help come up with more ideas instead of just focusing on the one idea and art block slamming its way into your door. Sometimes when you're making content, you're gonna get stuck on one topic, an idea, when you don't give yourself enough time to really think about ideas fully or give your mind time to process things. Honestly, it hinders your creative process when you don't let yourself have a break. When you're overworked, you can't think properly, so it's important to take breaks. I tend to take breaks that last for a couple of weeks to months. I don't know if that's ghoulish overkill, but it feels like it. But it is how I cope and deal with stress. So I took a break from this YouTube channel. How long has it been? Couldn't say. I didn't keep track. Another thing you can do is try to change the environment you're in. Your environment can also help with the creative process. I know that sometimes when I'm having art block, being able to go outside or go somewhere can definitely get me out of the rut I'm in. Though I know not a lot of people have the opportunity to just leave their house, or maybe an illness keeps them from leaving the house for one reason or another. It can be hard to change your environment and scenery because you can't get out of the house. Something I like to do when I necessarily can't go outside or going outside isn't helping me, I like to look at Pinterest, because Pinterest, by far the best place to go when you want ideas. Not sponsored, wish I was, sponsor me. I'm just a highly girly girl who loves Pinterest. I love making mood boards for literally everything. I recently was using mood boards for helping me get my book under control because it helps keep all ideas intact. Being able to look at other art or music or poetry or just other places in the world can help bring back your motivation. Seeing other people's creative journey is definitely something that I like to look at when I'm struggling with art block and art motivation. There's so many different styles and ways to use color and line art that it's hard not to appreciate everything you can find on the internet. I love taking in all the different styles, seeing exactly what other people are doing, and maybe even trying some of the styles that I haven't necessarily tried before. Maybe if you're an artist that loves doing line art, maybe you could try doing lineless art for once. Or maybe if you mainly use dull colors, you can switch to using super saturated and bright colors. There's so many different ways to step out of your comfort zone that may end up helping you in the long run, especially with your motivation, because it's going to flood you with new ideas. Trying new styles is probably one of the best ways to get back in the flow of things. Even if you're not necessarily going to use anything of the style, I tend to do it because it helps me figure out exactly what I do want in my style. This flows directly into changing your medium. If you're an artist, let's say you enjoy drawing using digital art, sometimes going back to traditional art and testing your skills can be a fun outlet. Or maybe you could try writing or making music or recording an art cover, making a video, or trying voice acting or playing an instrument. There are many types of art forms out there that you can choose from that are different than what you're doing. I grew up doing traditional art myself, and I slowly turned into a digital artist when I was around 18. I still remember the first art tablet I got. I believe it was as a Christmas gift from my mother, and I loved it dearly. Even though it wasn't the best tablet on the market, it definitely got me started on my art journey and made me love digital art. Sometimes doing art just is not happening for me. Obviously, if I have art block, I am not going to be able to create anything that I want. So what's the best next thing? What I usually do is writing. I love creative writing. I love prompts. I love fantasy. I love romance. I love horror. I love goofy, fun writing, especially stuff that you can find on AO3. My goodness, that website has killed so many of my brain cells and gotten rid of my innocence in faster than you can say holy shoot. It is a weird website and I love it so much. Sometimes, to get my brain jogging, to make it turn its gears, doing something outside of your creative freedom really helps as well. Maybe you can ask a friend to give you some ideas of what you could draw. Maybe you could do some art prompts or do some of those random animation memes. Or they have these things that used to be on Tumblr where you could click on the screen and it would be a bunch of different hairstyles, a bunch of different clothing ideas, and you make a character depending on what it stops on. Those generator things, I love those. You could also try one of those. But definitely sometimes changing from art to writing can help get your motivation back, because instead of drawing out your scene, you have to write out your scene, and writing about your character can really help you with your artistic journey as well, because you get another view on what your character could be like. Definitely makes it easier to make backstories for your characters. And although I love making backstories, I am bad at it. I am definitely not one of those people that tend to write full giant backstories. I cannot do that. Another thing that I like to do is poetry. Poetry is definitely, I would say, easier in some mediums than writing. You can write really anything and you can call it a poem, or you could write a haiku. Really, there's anything you can do writing wise. The same with art. Anything is possible with art, and anything is possible with writing. You can choose from a wide variety of mediums, like pottery, for instance. If you've never made pottery before, it looks really fun. Or playing an instrument like the violin or the piano. Just learning some other form of medium, or maybe voice acting. With voice acting, all you need is a computer and a mic, and you're able to go. Definitely love trying voice acting for myself. If you haven't already, check out my Witches and Wand video. It is a short story that I am writing, kind of themed after Harry Potter, but without the bigotry, I suppose. Now, typically what works for me, myself, from a personal level, in my opinion, doing something else is usually what gets my motivation back. I'll stop drawing, I'll step away from my computer, or I'll go outside. I'll talk to friends, I'll watch YouTube, I'll read a book. Lately, I've been reading Haunting Adeline. If you don't know what that is, it's an amazing book. Look it up. Mwah, chef kiss, love it. Which I never thought I would be reading when I was younger. I hated reading when I was younger so freaking much. If you follow my content, you know that I was hella dyslexic when I was younger. I was not able to read whatsoever. So being able to read books and find them relaxing as an adult is something that I would never think of when I was younger. But now I am obsessed with romance books and fantasy books. They're 10 out of 10. Hit so hard when you can't find a movie that suits your taste. There is always going to be a book that suits your taste. But it is important to remind yourself that you do not have to create something every day to have a purpose or to be an artist. I know there are some times when I don't create something and I feel useless, or I haven't done something all day, I feel lazy or worthless. Especially as an artist, I feel like if I'm not creating, I'm not an actual artist. It's easy to let your negative emotions take over when you have art block or burnout, because you cannot force the burnout or art block to go away. You're so used to creating, and not being able to do the one thing you feel like you're good at can really negatively impact your motivation. So it's really important to try and keep a good perspective. It's really important to try and keep a positive mindset. Look, me out of everyone knows how hard it is to stay positive, especially if you're someone like me who struggles with mental health disorders and other things. Staying positive has saved me more than I can count. And it's not easy to be positive. I know there's a lot of people out there saying, oh, it's easy to be positive. You just have to think better. You just have to go for walks. You just have to have medication. You just have to want to be happy. You just have to want to do this or this. Everyone thinks they know the perfect way to have a healthy mindset. And some of the things are true. Going for walks can help. Having medication can definitely help, though not everyone can afford it. Coming from my personal opinion, it is not easy to just have a positive mindset. It is something that I have struggled with basically my whole life, especially if you struggle with depression and anxiety like I do. I do not expect you to watch my videos and I have all of the answers to tell you how to fight art block. Everyone is different, and different things are going to help people differently, and different things are going to negatively help other people. It's not a perfect process. You could watch all the videos online that you want about art block and burnout and having a positive mindset, but it isn't always going to help, because in theory, having a positive mindset is easy. In practice, it's a lot harder, and you do have to practice. Just like being an artist, being creative is a skill. Being able to create amazing things like art and poetry, writing, everything is a skill. And just like being an artist, having a positive mindset is also a skill. You have to work at it. You have to want it, because being positive does not come easily for some people. I know there are some people out there who think being positive is what you can be positive, you just have to want to be positive. And I agree, you do have to want to be positive, but it isn't as easy as just waking up and being like, I'm going to be positive. No, you have to work at it every single day to be positive, but it is worth it. Trying to stay positive is worth it. Trying to see the best in people is worth it. Trying to be a good artist will always be worth it. Trying to stay sensitive in a world that challenges you to make you tough and hard, it makes a difference. It may not be the biggest difference in the world, but it could make a difference in your own life. This isn't me saying that a positive mindset is the cure-all for all of the art block in the world, but being positive and letting things go with the flow and relaxing now and then and letting yourself have a break could be the reason why you get back into art. And I just want you guys to know that even if you can't create art today, you could create art tomorrow. And being an artist isn't your whole life. You're important whether you can make art or not. With that being said, I just wanted to talk a little bit about art block and what's been going on with me lately. I've been having a hard time dealing with my medications recently. As you know, I was recently diagnosed with schizophrenia and I started medication a couple months ago. I'm getting better. The medication is definitely helping, but I've been struggling with my motivation to create art and make videos and anything content creator wise. So I really wanted to make this video to kind of help myself remember how to make videos to get over art block. This video is for me as much as it is for you guys. With that being said, have you guys ever dealt with art block, and how did you get over it? Because I would love to know personally. With that being said, I'm Squishable Moon, and I hope all your dreams come true. Bye bye.